everyone, and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up a debt-free dairy farm on Farming Simulator 19. First, I'm just going to start a brand new save. We're going to go Farm Manager, Ravenport, pick who you want to be. I'm going to do no mods at all. This is just plain old vanilla. If you're playing on console, it's the same exact setup. Once we get loaded into Ravenport here, the first thing I'm going to do is pay off our loan, and then we will purchase some land. We'll start with the farm that they designed to be your starting location. We'll plop down a cow pen, and we'll go buy some tractors, and we'll set it all up. So first thing we want to do here is hit the escape key and come up to the financials. This $250,000, we don't want to deal with that, right? We don't want to deal with any of that because we want to make a farm that is immediately, from the very start, going to be profitable. Now, some people might not want to play this way, but this is something I've decided that I want to do. Now we're going to hit the escape key again. Instead of this finance tab, we're going to go here to the map. Zoom out with your mouse wheel if you're on PC, or use your triggers if you're on console. And now I'm going to look down here, this area. Now, we don't have a lot of money. We only have $1 million to start this farm. So we're not going to buy it all. We're not going to try to farm more than we can handle right now. We're going to buy this one chunk. It's more than a third of our money, but we'll find that it's worth every penny. Now we're going to hit the P key on the computer. Just basically go to your store. And the first thing we want to buy is a medium-sized tractor. We don't want anything too powerful because we want something that can do a lot. So for $176,000, you get 210 horsepower. I really like this Massey Ferguson. Anywhere in this range, you probably find a tractor you like. This is the one that I like. I'm going to put, we'll leave everything the same, just gonna put a front loader on it. And because it's over 150, we're going to go over here to front loaders. Because it's over 150 horse, we need the bigger one. So we'll get this. And we're going to need two different attachments for it. We're going to need both the bale spike, which you can use as a pallet fork, and a pinch. It's really only a couple $100 more if you want to get the pallet fork as well. And then I'm going to get the universal bucket. We're going to use the heck out of this. So we'll get those two things. Now, we need to do a few things up at the store. The first thing we're going to do is we have to water our cows and we have to feed our cows. So, depending upon how you want to run your farm, you might say, I'm going to buy this thing outright. But what I'm going to do is lease it because I'm just that cheap. I want to save more money to buy cows. So I'm going to lease this, and I'm going to, actually I think I might even lease the water tank for now, because once we fill it up, they'll be good for a week. So instead of paying an ongoing, instead of paying $9,000 for it now, we could buy a couple of extra cows who could be producing milk for us. So let's look at it that way. Now, the other thing we need to do is get some bales. We need one silage bale. That'll be 4,000 liters of silage. So we need one of those. We don't care what color it is. We're literally going to dump it in. We need one hay bale. And we need one straw bale. Now, you're going to see, I'm going to do a little bit of a gimmicky thing here. You might not like this idea, but we're going to do one little gimmicky thing once we get up to the store. Before that, though, we're going to hit the P key and go to this placeable area, and we are going to purchase the smaller cow pasture. And if I can figure out where we are on the map here, I am going to find a real nice place at the farm here where we can put this cow pasture. Now we just bought these 3 fields. Looks like we've got canola here, maybe sunflowers there. I can't tell exactly what that is. We can go down on the ground and look at it when we come back with our stuff. But I like this spot right here. You might not like it. You might think I'm crazy. But I kind of like this spot right here. And I'll make sure that I'm as low as I can go by using the control button. And now, boom. Okay, we lost a wee little bit of the field. We're not going to miss that. And we should be able to get to all of our important spots here. So we've got a cow pen. Alright, now we're back here on the ground, and we're going to go ahead and tab over to our tractor. Sorry, I know it's a little bit loud there starting out. But you'll learn. We're going to go ahead and get this bad boy hooked up here. Look at how beautiful it is. I love these tractors when they're brand new. It just makes you feel special. They're just brand new. They look nice. They look like they're ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is put these bales, because, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm thinking twice here. Let's start with the silage bale, because we want all the silage in there, and we're going to want all the hay in there, because this TMR mixer for cow feed, that's what we're doing. If I didn't clarify that earlier, we're making some cow feed, and part of what I want to do here, it's going to take us an extra trip back up here. We're going to have to come back up here and get our water tank. But when we're done with this, it's going to take us 2 trips, and we're going to have a nice full load of cow feed, and because it won't take that whole bale worth of straw, we're going to have bedding. So by the time we come back up here and get our water tank and our our shovel, well, actually we'll leave the bale spike up here. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But by the time we get all of our tools down there, it's going to cost us 2 trips, and we'll see how much money we have left. We'll be able to buy quite a few cows if we want. I don't know how big of a farm you're looking to set up, right? I don't know. Everybody's got a little bit of a different idea of what they want to do. I tend to prefer this sort of mid-level farming myself. So I might not necessarily want to have 200 cows or something crazy like that. Actually, the barn that we just built won't even hold that many. Let's go for the middle, shall we? Let's see if we can. There we go. That'll be better. So we're gonna put this in here. Okay. All right. Some people prefer modded bale spikes because of that exact thing that just happened to me. I don't typically worry about it. I just didn't angle it up enough because I was thinking about what I'm doing next here instead of concentrating on the job at hand. So we're gonna put that in there, drop off the bale spike because we're not gonna need it back at the farm right now. So go ahead and drop that off. We're gonna need this universal bucket, and you'll see why in about 45 seconds. So we're gonna ride this down to our homestead, and what we're actually gonna do, if you look right now over on the left hand side, you'll see the mixing ratio is not happy. We can't feed this to our cows. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Right? We've got 11,893 liters of forage, which is essentially mixed ingredients that are not all the way mixed enough to feed your cows, enough to be total mixed ration. So what we're going to do when we get there, and this is like I said, some people might consider this a little bit of a cheat, because if this wagon's really mixing it all together, you can't separate it. But what we're going to do is precisely that. We're going to separate it out. We're going to get our ratio correct. So then we'll have about 9,000 liters of TMR, and we'll have 3,000 liters of straw to use as bedding. And our cows won't take that right away, but we'll have it. So I'll get the TMR sorted, and then I'll take another trip up here to pick up the water tank and the bale spike. So look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this so picturesque? I like this little farm already. We just got started. So the manure is going to go there. The slurry is going to go there. The straw is going to go right here. The water is going to go over here. And then on the back side, this is where we'll buy our cows. On the back side, this is where we'll dump our TMR. Just boom, dump her off right there. And this little corner is where we'll get our milk and load it up. Actually, that's one slight mistake I made, depending upon how you want to do things. Oops, destroying some of the crop. Well, that's probably going to happen anyways. But one thing I could have done, instead of leasing that small tanker that I did, I could have purchased the $25,000 bigger one. But here's what we're going to do, okay? We're up on our land. This is important to make sure it's your land. Now, we're going to use the left control I, and we're going to dump this out. I know, not great, but we're going to dump this out. So first, we have hay. It's going to dump out a bunch of hay. And once it's done dumping out the hay, it's going to dump out a lot of it. It's going to need space to do it, so you have to sort of go along here. And then once it's done dumping out the hay, it's going to switch to the silage. It's going to dump out all the silage. All 4,000 liters of it are going to end up here on the ground. So we're going to be left with a whole cart of straw. Now what I'd like to do is shut it off, move the straw to a different location so the two don't get totally mixed together. But we'll dump the straw up here. And if we're smart, we can keep our eye on it. And when it gets down to 1,000 liters, we'll hit our control I. Yeah, see, it's not going to let me get quite there with that storage space. We'll hit our control I right around there. And what we should be able to do here, we'll hit Q and drop this off. That does not look like the same amount, does it? Looks like it cheated us a little here. I don't know what it's going to do to our ratio. Hopefully it still works. Maybe it's because hay is fluffier than silage, but we are going to go ahead and load this up. Now you'll have to bear with me here. This will take a little while to get this all loaded. But once it's loaded, you'll have food for a while, for many cows. And they'll start producing milk pretty much right away. It takes a couple of in-game hours, really, before you start seeing milk show up. Alright, I'll tell you what. You get the idea here. Load this back up until you get your ratio right and dump it off. So I won't keep doing that here. We'll go ahead and assume you can follow that. And I'll leave my shovel here, or bucket I should say, and we'll go ahead and ride up and grab the water. It'd be nice if they made this little, what appears to be a well there. It'd be nice if they made that functional. I doubt that it is. But we're going to run up here back to the store. We'll snag that water tank and the bale fork, and we'll get some water in there, purchase some cows, finish up our food, and hopefully this will all be done in not super long, and you'll be able to see every step of how to get this profitable dairy farm set up. And really, you know, you might be thinking, well, what about all the other implements? I'm going to need to harvest those fields, and isn't that going to be more money? Yeah, it is. But you also should have over $300,000 to play with. So if you decide you want to buy a harvester, you can do that. If you want to lease one, you can do that. And then with 3 small fields, you'll be able to pay attention to what you need. If you want to make one a grass field, you can do that. If you want to make one a hay, because a grass field, you can feed your cows grass, or you can turn it into hay or silage. All things that you're going to need. You could put in a silage clamp if you want. I think the cheapest one's $15,000. So you could find a little bit of land there, put in a silage clamp, and make your own homegrown silage. You already have the bucket to do it, right? So that's an option. You could buy a bale wrapper and use that, or lease it. This all comes down to how you want to manage your money after the setup. But I've found what a lot of people do, and I know I've done this a lot of times myself playing, is I get so excited for the new toy. Right? Oh boy, I can't wait to get this new whatever equipment. And I go out, and the first thing I do is spend $300,000 on a combine, and then I get a tipper trailer, this and that, and before I know it, I'm up to way too much money, and I can't afford to do what I'm trying to do. But before you know it, you don't even have time to buy any cows, right? So I guess there's a little bit, I misspoke a little bit ago, because if you want to buy 10 head of cattle, that's going to set you back about 30 grand. So you might still dip a touch under 300,000, but with that remaining money, you can be the one to decide how you want to invest it, what equipment you think you'll use the most, what equipment will matter the most. Now, because of the location of that water tank, I think what we want to do, because I'm going to go ahead and place the in-game water tank right, like it would be a placeable, this water station here. I'd love to put it there, but we don't own that land. So maybe somewhere up here, I guess we have to put it. It's a shame it won't let us put it just anywhere. It'd be really nice to just nestle it right there, since we're trying to put the water over here. But find a place you like that you're allowed to put it. Seems like that's more difficult than I first anticipated. But just for our sake here, I think if I put it, in case I want to expand that field a little, I'll put it here. Now I can hop back in my tractor here and go fill up our water. And now it cost me $5 grand to put that thing in, but all I need to do now is come up here, and you'll see R start filling. And if you look up in the top right, you'll see it's not costing me any money. I paid that initial fee, and that's all I need. Now it's not going to take a whole bunch of water right now because we don't have any cows in. I'm going to go ahead and put this water in here. Then I'll cruise on over to our resources. See if it'll give me the old prompt. It may not let me. I know sometimes it doesn't let you if you don't have any demand. Okay, it's not letting me because we don't have any cows yet. But I don't really want to buy cows until the feed is ready. So let's go ahead and drop our bale spike right here, and we will switch over to that. So it's not going to let us drop that straw either, I would guess. So if you'll bear with me, this will take a few minutes to get our feed set up, but once it is, we should be ready to feed our yet to be purchased cows. I tend to play on 5-speed For some of you, you might prefer a little bit, you might prefer to do real time while you're getting your feet wet with the game. Others of you, well, chances are if you are a long time vet of the series, you're probably not watching this tutorial, but it is a little bit different for FS19. So there are a few tricks here that I've picked up. I've been playing this franchise since FS15. I bought it on a whim. I kind of grew up helping on a dairy farm, and so I have a little bit of an affinity for tractors, but I didn't really know that it was going to be something that I would enjoy that much. But I figured, what the heck, maybe I can have some fun with it. And it's really been interesting seeing how much fun it is to make your own world. Like, so with this tutorial, I put this farm on the starting location, but some of you might say, I don't want to be down there in those little tiny fields. I want a big massive field. Well, by all means, go ahead, you're allowed. it's as Bob Ross says, it's your world. Pick what you want to do and set it up how you want to set it up, and nobody's gonna complain. Nobody else will care. You can play how you want. And one of the things you might be interested in, especially console players, I know there's a lot more people interested in achievements on consoles, but if you want to get the cow breeding achievement, you don't want to start that farm off $250,000 in debt. You want to make sure that you can grow the farm, and you don't need 1,000 acres or whatever, a half a map to breed 30 cows. You just need to make sure that your cows that your cows are well fed. You need to make sure that you take care of them. And as the herd increases, the reproduction rate will increase. But so, as your herd increases, you'll definitely go through more food. But you don't necessarily need to have a whole ton of, you won't necessarily have to have a whole ton of different resources. You don't need 10 fields and half the map, because I don't know how you all play, but when I play on normal economy, that takes a long time to save up 300 grand to buy a field. You think, oh my god, 300 grand is like 1,000 cows. That's so much. Not that you could ever support 1,000 cows, but you get what I'm saying. It's a lot of money. Alright, so forgive my ranting about my fictional farm that I don't have. So you can see, you can see here, we could do for a little bit more straw. Since the straw is our padding agent, I cut us a little bit short there, but I don't want to go too heavy on the straw. Let's just do like another, I'll say 100-ish. Yeah, well, that's already more than... Boy, it's hard to be precise, I'll give you that. It's hard to be precise with this. Okay. 122. I'm probably nitpicking at this point. I probably should just go over and buy some cows. Alright. Okay. Here we go. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Alright. I feel like I've said, oh, alright, probably too many times. This is where we buy the cows, right here, to, hit open animal dialogue. I don't know what color we're feeling like here. You want to do this? Do brown and white? So let's buy 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 25,000. I'm not going to go rent the trailer. So we'll just go ahead and confirm those. Yay! We have cows. You can see them out there. We're going to drive around here. I don't think it'll let me dump it this way. I got to turn around. I will fix that field if I end up keeping this farm. I'll fix that field and push it back a little bit, maybe expand it the other way. Oops. My apologies on my irrational driving here. We'll get this set up. You can see on my mixing ratio, I could put more straw in if I wanted to pad it a little bit more, but you know, we're at about 9,000 liters of TMR, and these cows are going to take a good bit of it. We can hit our escape key and come up to the animal management, and you can see we're not even going to be halfway. We'll be probably not even a third with this, with just 10 head of cattle. But remember, this is to provide enough food for them for a week. So we've got a whole week to either find $3 grand to do what we just did, or to farm some of our own. So I am going to pull this out here very quickly. I'm gonna fill them up with water, and you can probably see where I'm going with the straw now, right? We've got that pile of straw laying over there, and the FS, you know, we love that it's a simulator, but it's also not super realistic in that your straw, if it gets wet, without the seasons mod, isn't gonna bother you. So we'll put this water in here. I'll show you where to put the bedding, and then we'll call it good. I appreciate the patience of the folks who have stuck with this. You might be thinking this is not the most eye-opening, boy, I never thought to do that tutorial for some people, but others might be thinking, oh wow, how cool, I'm gonna have a farm with 10 cattle that are gonna start producing milk, and I've got 3 fields and a nice setup. I've got money left over to buy a combine. I've got money left over to buy the little bale trailer. I could very easily start producing whatever it is that I want to produce. So you see here, this is where you dump the straw. You're going to get your slurry and manure over time, but you don't have any right now. See right here, if we look, the productivity is not showing yet because I literally just bought these cows. But they're clean, they've got plenty of water, and we can fill it easy right there. We can dump the rest of this straw in and bring it up to there. And we've got enough TMR to probably last these 10 cows. If this whole thing is 7, then I'm thinking we've got 2, maybe 2.5 days. And they will be at 100% productivity with TMR alone. They don't need hay, silage, and grass. Now, there it goes. Now we're at 100 productivity. They're already making manure. They're making slurry. And if you sped up the clock, you'd see the milk will start coming in very soon as well. All right. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed this. I enjoy the sort of simple create your own world part of playing FS, and hopefully you all will have fun with your own farm. I'll tell you what, if this tutorial was helpful at all to you, please leave a message. If you have suggestions for ways I can improve, I'd like to do this same kind of thing for some of the other livestock on FS, and maybe even feature some different equipment. So if that's something that would interest you, let me know. Thanks so much for your time and attention. Have a great day.